Welcome, my name is Andrew Garcia. This is my first YouTube video. Always wanted to make a YouTube channel, and in 2023, one of my goals was to create something that I can put out. I consume a lot of content. Thought this would be a great way to also contribute because I've learned an unbelievable amount from YouTube, and I do so on a daily basis. Background on me, not physical background. However, I'm redoing my office and using ChatGPT. I was hoping that it was going to give me perfect calculation how many little slats I needed, but it was about 10 short. So hopefully ChatGPT 4 fixes that problem because I paid for it, and we'll see. A little background on me though. I am currently a wedding photographer, videographer, and commercial videographer, photographer, basically just content creator all around. My wife and I started our brand. It's called Matrimony Media in the wedding space. Probably did it for 1 or 2 years with a buddy, and then I met my wife, and she met me when I was early on in my career. I worked at a local tech company. I'm based here in San Luis Obispo, California. So actually just outside of San Luis, but nobody ever knows the little small town I'm in, so I just say San Luis. Started there and built my wedding business while I worked at this tech company. So kudos to the tech company for letting me build my brand while on the clock for your brand. So been doing the wedding thing for, gosh, it's probably been 8 years now. Grew a very successful brand in the wedding space. We do multiple 6 figures a year just in weddings. We're able to buy the house that we're in. We're able to travel, take a ton of trips, really just have our time to ourselves aside from the many weddings we would shoot. So, however, what I learned quickly is that weddings, for the most part, what I feel like is more of a young man's game. A lot of the veterans that I've seen in the space are pivoting. They're doing other things. They're selling courses. They're doing commercial work. They're getting out of the wedding game altogether. And so for me, it was, as we begin the conversations of family planning and what does this look like when mom and dad are both having to leave for 25, 35 Saturdays a year, it's just not conducive. So in that time, my wife, or in the past 2 years, right when COVID started, she applied to nursing school and got in. And so she's actually a nurse now, which we are extremely pumped for her, kind of shifting careers. However, she's still a part of the wedding brand we have, just doing a smaller amount of weddings nowadays. So for me, I thought it was going to be very helpful to also branch out. Commercial work is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've always had a few commercial clients. I had a few retainers here where I would do photo or video on a monthly basis, and then word would spread and I would take smaller projects, probably doing around, 30, 50 grand a year just in commercial work without doing anything. That is without trying, without promoting, literally just by word of mouth and stuff like that. So in 2020, I decided to take the commercial part very seriously. And then year after year, I've began to grow that side of the brand. I ended up paying a lot of money for a coach. I think my coaching for, I think it was 2020, end of 2020, 2021, spent about $20,000 on a coach for a year. And that was my first initiation into coaching. Is an insane investment. However, while I could speak on that coaching program specifically, I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about what I was doing and what I wasn't doing, and what I needed to do in order to grow anything. And it was a bit of a reminder. I think we worked ourselves into a very comfortable place with the wedding brand to where we didn't have to do a lot to get work. Still to this day, we are not very active on social. We have a great little network of friends and community here, but we don't do a lot, and we still fill our calendar no problem. So for that reason, we're very blessed, and I wanted to create that same model for wedding work into commercial work. So there's a lot of things I've learned along this way. I feel like that kind of sums up my background. And the purpose for this channel, like I said, I've always wanted to do this as a way to just help other people that were 2 steps behind me in the space. I think it's hard to learn from some people that are 10 steps, 30 steps in front of you, wherever you're trying to go. And for me, that's content creation, commercial work, doing content for brands. But what I've learned the most from is someone that's 2, 3 steps in front of me. And I'm hoping to be that 2 or 3 steps in front of whoever's watching. So to dive in quickly and do another brief overview, I was at, like I said, about 30 to 50K when I first started kind of dabbling around. Over the past 3 years, I've grown it to about 125 to my goal for this year is to hit 150K just with commercial work. Last year, my goal is to hit 100K. I finished the year at 125K. And this year my goal is 150K. However, with replicable systems to scale and to get more clients. Basically, I want it to be an on and off switch when I want to get clients and when I don't. So this channel for this year at least is to bring you guys along on a journey with me and building this thing that I think a lot of other creators on YouTube are trying to build and are trying to find a way of making content or just making art really, and making it in a way that's sustainable and a way that's predictable and a way that's scalable. So yeah, it's kind of my hopes for the channel and the content I'm going to be making. A couple things I don't know if I'll be doing. Gear reviews. So while I love them, I'm a gear nerd. I got tons of gear behind this camera, actually. There's a lot of gear channels, and I hope to bring maybe a part that's honest and holistic to growing a content business and not just have everything be gear focused. I definitely found myself falling into the trap of buying gear as a way to make business moves, more or less, or at least in my head it was, if I have this camera that a lot of these other guys are shooting these big projects with, then inadvertently I'm also going to get those projects, and that never really happened. To be honest, I've probably only booked maybe one job over the last 2 to 3 years because of the equipment I use, and so realizing that no one cares if I'm shooting a Red, Canon, Sony, all these other things, it just doesn't really matter. As long as the work is killer and you're a pleasant person to work with and you understand the briefs and you understand the idea behind the content and why the company's even wanting to initiate content in the first place, you're going to do a great job and the clients are going to love you. And then another part of this channel, I want it to just be a creative expression. I think a lot of times I find myself in this bit of paralysis by analysis where I'm overanalyzing everything and not just putting things out. And like, this YouTube video is probably going to suck. I feel like I'm rambling. People are probably dropping off by the minute, but I think over time, if you put in enough reps, you're going to get really good at whatever it is you're doing. And this would be my encouragement to get out there and to start doing something. Barely started this production company. I've already been generating more revenue than I ever thought I would be able to do with doing the minimal things I know how to do. Along the way, I've learned a lot. Since starting, I've purchased a lot of courses. I love courses. I love learning from people. I love learning from the best people. I have some incredible courses right now that I'm very invested in, and I've learned an unbelievable amount from. But if you don't take action, all the info from the courses, you're not going to do anything with it. And I think you do get stuck in a little bit of this pattern where you feel like you're accomplishing things by watching courses, and you feel like, okay, I'm watching these YouTube videos, I'm getting more knowledge, but without action, and namely like imperfect action. And these are all semi-quotes from some of the courses, but they just make sense. It's like imperfect action. You just have to take a lot of that and really figure it out along the way. It's like being less proactive and just infinitely more reactive to whatever you're doing. The last bit of this video, just kind of want to share where I'm at right now and some valuable things that I think could really help you guys out a lot too. Namely is, I feel like in the creator space, one of the big things is like, how do I get clients? I feel like I've even hopped on a few Zoom calls over the past couple months in some of the coaching programs I'm in, because I'm a little bit farther along than some of the other newer kind of content creators. And they've just asked, what are you doing to get clients, and what are a few ways to get clients? And to be honest, I'm still learning a lot. There's a few things you can do that will at least put you on the right track to be getting clients and to be starting those conversations, because that's really where it starts, and the snowball effect and the momentum is real. First off, distinguishing between inbound and outbound clients, I think, is something really important. We all want to have the type of presence online to where we're getting the inbound clients, where people are hitting us up, reaching out to us. My wife and I have built that with our wedding brand to where, like I said earlier, we don't do a lot of the posting and we don't do a lot of the kind of putting ourselves out there as much, but we can still get a very solid amount of clients every year. So with the commercial space, I think more than anything, our little sliver of the population needs to be putting out absolutely as much work, as much content, as much value as we possibly can to start to build that system that's going to drive the inbound sales. And aside from inbound sales, one thing you can do to take action today, which I would encourage anyone watching this looking to build a creative agency or looking to be a content creator or looking to partner with businesses, exchange for content, you need to also not only have an incredible inbound structure where you're putting your face out there, you're getting on social, you're doing all these things, but you have an outbound strategy as well. Outbound meaning, if you want to get clients, there's a few ways you can go about it to actually secure yourself getting clients. And I want to go into a few of those ways and how you can get clients starting as soon as possible. So number one is going to be offer to work for free. I know this sounds a little bit advantageous when you're wanting to make money, and if you're in a position to where you need to drum up revenue as soon as possible, this might sound counterintuitive, but it is one way that you can build relationships and work out all the kinks to when you do land that big client, you're going to be on set, you're going to be producing this project with a lot of expertise, and the client's going to be really impressed by how you are structuring things and how you do things. So number one would be do some free work and reach out in the DMs, reach out via email, reach out 1,000 different ways, guaranteed without fail. if your social is relevant to the offer you're producing, you're going to get a few people interested in working with you for free. So next, I would say utilize your network. I could not believe what happened when I actually pivoted my socials, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my Facebook, Twitter, all those things into just telling people that I do content, that I make content, that I do video production, photo production, you name it, that I do that. And the amount of positive feedback and work that came my way just from turning the switch on and telling my immediate surroundings, that's friends, family, friends of friends, just what you do. It's insane what happens, and that amount of buzz can really begin to snowball, and you're going to land at least your first few clients with that method. Lastly, I would start to look at modes of outreach. So outreach being Instagram DMs, LinkedIn, cold email outreach. You can hop on phones, but I've tried it. It's a little more difficult to sell a creative service when you're just trying to cold call people. You can do strategic partnerships to where you're offering your services at a discount or for free in exchange for that business to cross promote you in that way. All right, one I'm going to focus on, because I know this video is getting a little windy, is your cold email outreach. Currently, right now, I'm generating 3 to 5 positive responses a day from my cold email outreach. It is absolutely insane. So if you are not doing cold email outreach, you need to. If you're not doing cold email outreach right now, I would encourage you. It's a really, really low cost to run and operate, and there's a million softwares out there that can do it for you. Really, what it's going to really come down to is how good you're structuring your offer, how good you're able to communicate that offer in a email that's going to be effective and get read and replies. If this gets any interest and people want to see what I'm doing with cold email to get video creative clients, I can make another video specifically walking you through my whole process for how I'm getting those clients. But for right now, I feel like this video is getting long, so I want to wrap it up. Yeah, I'm Andrew. I hope to make a lot more videos putting this in the world. My aim is to make at least one video a week covering video production topics, content creation, kind of the holistic approaches to this, and just kind of where I'm at. I'm a person that takes a lot of action, and I do a lot of things imperfectly, kind of like what I said in the video, and so I'm always fixing, putting out fires and adjusting things. So I hope for this to be not so much of a monologue of me telling you what to do, but more of a dialogue to where I can share what's working for me. You can help out, reply in the comments what's working for you, and everyone who comes to this channel can really win at the end of the day. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want. I'm still going to be making these, so thanks guys.